Good morning. Today I have a program for you, which is a legs, push, arms, and then pull day, or pull program, I should say. Free program in the description, kind of a beginner program. So that's kind of a too long didn't watch. It's just in the description for you. It's a Google Sheet. Go wild. Let's now talk through a program for those who want to stick around, and just for myself, for my own interest. So let's have a look here. So first of all, I should note that it's a push-pull legs, but it's not in that order. So we basically start with legs, then we go to push, then we go to kind of an arm day with a little bit of pull-ups, and then into a pull day. And the reason for this order is I wanted to keep legs as far away from pull as possible. So you notice we do legs on Monday, we pull on Friday, so we have 2 days in between. And that's just because we're deadlifting on pull day, and then we're squatting on push day, on legs day, and so we don't want them too close to each other if we can. I mean, obviously, if I'm running a 7-day week program and, they're going to be close to each other. But if we can, on a 4-day program, then why not keep them apart? Excuse me. So let's jump into it here. We're going to start with legs on Monday. So we have squats, 3 sets of 4 to 8. And we're supersetting those with some hammer curls. And that's just 3 sets of 10 to 15. So the squat rep range logic is, it's just heavy strength work starting your day. 4 to 8 is a really good rep range for that. It does allow you to progress. 8 reps is a little bit of volume, and 4 is very heavy, so it gives you quite a big room to progress without taking you into crazy high reps or super low powerlifting reps. And a superset to hammer curls, you're going to be taking nice long rests between these because they're heavy squats, and hammer curls won't affect your squats at all. And in 10 to 15 is just a nice basic rep range for isolation work. And 3 sets of each of those. I think 3 sets of squats, especially for a beginner, is plenty. You could get away with 4. And you could possibly get away with 2, but my feeling is like you've already warmed up, so you may as well hit a few sets. But you don't need to go crazy and destroy yourself. Especially because up next, we have dumbbell Bulgarians. 3 sets, 8 to 12. I think 8 to 12 is a good rep range for Bulgarians. I think if you go too... I think I've talked about this maybe in previous videos, but if you go too low in Bulgarians, especially with dumbbells, you can start to run into kind of some stability stuff and some real like joint stuff. You can start to feel your hip a little bit, especially as you get stronger. But equally, if you go much more above 12, your cardio can really start to kick in, especially on the second set, the second leg. I reckon 8 to 12 is a good rep range. Not too heavy, not too light. Then we jump into stiff leg RDLs. And no superset with those because Bulgarians are tough, and I think for a beginner we're a bit mean to make them superset there. And stiff leg RDLs, it's the same logic about the rep range and the sets as well, 3 sets, and same logic about no supersetting. Then we jump into a standing calf raise, where we're going to hit 4 sets of 8 to 12. I reckon with calves, you can survive more volume, and you should possibly be doing more volume. And 8 to 12 is just a good rep range for calves. And then we jump into a superset with snatch grip shrugs. So supersetting with calves is real easy, but it doesn't take much out of you. And especially if you're not that strong, often gyms will have like standalone barbells you can literally just bring over to the calf raise. So it's a real easy, comfortable superset. Then we jump into, let me just quickly close this window, because I feel like it's going to be a little bit loud for you guys. Then we jump into push day, for the next day, that's Tuesday. We start with a barbell overhead press, 4 sets of 5 to 8. I think a barbell overhead press is a little bit more calm, you recover from it a bit easier, so I think an extra set is not going to hurt, and it's probably just going to help. And 5 to 8, I think is, once again, just a real good strengthy rep range. I made it 5 to 8 rather than 4 to 8, because I think that, just to be more comfy on the shoulders, especially for beginners, and you don't need to go that heavy, so just take an extra rep, and don't make the weight that heavy. No superset for that, because I think especially as a beginner, you kind of want to recover between your overhead presses, because it does take a lot of, not axial fatigue, it generates axial fatigue, it takes a lot of axial strength, and stability. Then we jump into a barbell bench, 3 sets, 5 to 8. Once again, no superset, I reckon just focus on your bench. You could superset something here, like absolutely, you could do some abs or anything you want here. This would be a place that I would definitely put a superset if this was a intermediate or advanced program. 3 sets, 5 to 8, same logic about the rep range, same logic about the sets, but we brought the sets down by 1, just because I'm aware that we've already done 4 sets of a compound. Then we're jumping into dips, and I said assisted or not because some beginners can't do unassisted dips, or at least not in this rep range. So assisted or not, if you need the assist, use it, no stress. If you don't, then go bodyweight. And we're supersetting those to machine row. So this is just a real nice, easy, calm way of getting a little bit of extra back volume. I know it's a push day, and that's why I wrote push-ish if you read the program, because it is a push day, but you don't want to be limited by the, like you say it's a push day, you can't do anything else, it's like illegal. I don't think that's a great way of programming. It's more, it's a guideline. So just superset into a little bit of easy upper back volume. It's not going to take much out of you, it's a machine, you're nice and supported. but you will get a bit of extra tonnage from this, a bit of extra growth. Then we move to dumbbell side raises. Just a great way of getting some side delt volume in, especially for beginners. I think that if you can grow your side delts real quickly, it's very motivating, and you can if you incorporate heavy presses and lateral work. So dumbbell side raises, those are lateral raises as well. I call them side raises. People I know call them side raises. A lot of people call them lateral raises. It's all the same. And supersetting those to hanging knee raises. So I think hanging knee raises is like kind of a premier ab exercise, or one of them. I think it's really good for beginners as well. Decompress the spine whilst you're doing your knee raises. And I honestly think they're just as good as leg raises, but they're easier. So for beginners, it's like, well, why not? 3 sets, and I put 5 to 20. It's a very big rep range, but it just kind of depends. If you're a true beginner, then maybe 5 reps, you're fucking dying, right? And if you're a bit more advanced than you get, maybe you go up to 20. Just basically to failure-ish, wherever that is for you, 5. That's why I made it such a big rep range. And the superset should be really easy. You can just go to wherever you're doing a hang leg raise and just bring over your dumbbells. And because they're side raises, they're not going to be heavy dumbbells, so you can pretty easily move them around. Then we move on to Wednesday, which is our arm day, but a little bit of back, just give us a little bit of extra back volume. So we start with easy bar curls. No superset here, just big. This is like strength work for the biceps, basically. I think that easy bar curls are a movement that you can really grind on, you can really take seriously, and you can kind of treat it in the same way like you would for a squat or something, where you're taking it seriously and you're committing. And it's kind of reflecting the rep range, where we're going heavy, we're going hard, but 3 sets of that. And no superset. Once again, you could superset something here. You absolutely could. But I just think for beginners, why not just let them focus hard on like a quality bicep movement. Then we go into dumbbell curls, 3 sets of 10 to 15. So the logic with this is just give us a bit more. So we went very heavy with a barbell movement, and now we're just going to go to dumbbells and go a little bit lighter, get a bit more of a pump, but still not crazy high reps, but just 10 to 15 is just a little higher. You'll get a bit more of a pump from this. And supersetting out to standing calf raise, just because you should be doing lots of calves. Calf volume is good, and this is an easy superset. You can just bring your dumbbells over to wherever you're doing the calf raise. And why not? So we have here, I forgot to write the sets in, please hold. It's 3 sets, because it's a superset, so it basically has to be 3. But yeah, 3 sets of 5 to 8 of the standing calf raise as well. So you'll notice a slightly different rep range to our standing calf raise on the first day. This is just to give us a bit of variety. We did a very kind of high rep, lightish calf raise on, lightish, I mean high reps is 8 to 12, but higher reps on leg day. And now we're going a little bit heavier on this day. So that's not too bad. Then we're going to chin-ups, and I wrote here assisted or not, because once again, if you're a bit more advanced or a bit lighter, then you just do them unassisted, no problem. If you're kind of new and maybe a bit heavier, then yeah, do them assisted. And then yeah, rep range of 5 to 10 there. I made them chin-ups because this is an arm day, and chin-ups we're doing this for back volume, but there's no harm in making it chin-ups and bicep to bicep a little bit, especially because our biceps are going to be tired. So this will make it more of a hybrid movement, because your biceps are tired, you've just done 2 heavy sets of biceps. And so this is going to kind of give you a little bit of extra back volume, but also more bicep volume, so why not? No superset there. Once again, you could definitely superset something here, especially if you have grips. Then you can superset some forearm here. I wouldn't recommend supersetting forearms if you don't have grips, because then you're going to be too tired to hold the bar. But if you do, then you could superset that here, or traps. That would be the other thing to superset here. But I'm just being a bit easy on the beginner here. Yeah, because this is a program written for one of my clients, and I don't want him to suffer too much. Not yet, until he wants to suffer later. Then we have cable French press. This is just to give us some long head of a tricep work, and just some nice tricep work. So cable French press, 3 sets of 10 to 15. Nice calm rep range. I think it's nice to go a bit lighter on the cable French press, especially because it's a little bit tough to get into the movement. It's a little bit shouldery, so why not just go a bit lighter so you don't have to do super duper heavy weights. And just a cable, I think cable and dumbbell are both good. I've just been enjoying cable myself recently, so I figured, I don't have a preference, so I just tossed that in, but you could absolutely do it with a dumbbell. And then we finish the day with easy bar reverse curls, superset to easy bar finger curls. So this is just 2 forearm movements, both 3 sets, 10 to 15, just either side of the forearm. We've got the reverse curls for the flexors, and then the flexors and then the extensors on either side. 3 sets, 10 to 15, this will just blow up your forearms to finish the day. And one thing I wrote here, which is a very, something to remember, is that you can superset, basically, this whole day could be super short if you supersetted everything. So you can literally just toss the French press as a superset with the easy bar curl if you wanted, or anything like that, just to make the day faster. But if you're kind of chilling, having a good day, maybe training with some friends or whatever, then you can absolutely do it in that slower way. Nice beginner program with a bit more options, in the sense that you don't have to go hungers and superset everything. But if you do, if you want to get in and out of a gym in half an hour, then you absolutely can. Now we have a rest day, which is our Thursday, and then we go to Friday, which is our pull day. So we start with deadlifts, no superset here, just heavy, hard deadlifts, getting strong. I'll do probably a full video about why I think deadlifts are good for hypertrophy. It's a little bit more nuanced than just they grow muscle. But of course, in the beginner, they do grow muscle. But also, they kind of set you up, I think, for future lifts. If you have a strong deadlift and you have a strong, bent over row, a strong barbell row, I should say, a strong overhead press, a strong RDL, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, we have deadlifts here, 3 sets, 4 to 8, just heavy strength work. Then we jump into pull-ups, supersetted to push-ups. So same logic, assisted or not, kind of up to you. 4 sets of that, a good chunk of heavy lat work here. And I think pull-ups are something that you can kind of recover from doing a lot, so why not do 4 sets? And then we're supersetting that to push-ups. So I think push-ups are a real easy superset. If this was an advanced program, it might be a bit tough because you'd have to do like 30 reps of push-ups. But if you're a beginner, you're probably fatiguing somewhere in the 5 to 20 range, which is like not a bad range for hypertrophy. Super easy superset because you're right by pull-ups, you can just jump into push-ups, and it just gives us a little bit of extra chest and tricep volume. Then we jump into dumbbell rows. I think dumbbell rows are such an excellent exercise. They're a good hypertrophy exercise, and it's so good for the shoulders. So for a beginner, why not set them up well, get them some gains, but also help their shoulders be strong into the future. So 4 sets 8 to 12, just a decent hypertrophy rep range, no reason to deviate. 8 to 12 is good. And then we superset that to front raises, which is a bit of a funny superset. I don't program front raises that often, but we could do with a bit more front delt volume in this program, because we are basically the only front delt, like real front delt work we have is on push day, which was all the way back on Tuesday. And it's a super easy superset. It's not going to fatigue you at all. You're kind of chilling between your dumbbell rows anyway, so why not do some front raises? And 10 to 15, I think these benefit from a slightly higher rep range. I think any shoulder isolation, a little higher rep range is nice. It can feel a bit icky on the shoulders to do like heavy. So like if you're doing like front raises for sets of 5 or whatever, your shoulders are not going to thank you. And then we jump into face pulls. So this is just a little bit of shoulder health stuff, but equally a little bit of work for rear delts, which I think is good for beginners. The rear delt stuff is nice, but I think for beginners, just keep your shoulders healthy and it's going to be super chill. And you can superset that with your Russian twist to get a bit of ab work in. And that's the program. And then just if you have a look, there's some sheets at the bottom. So if you go to sheet 2, you'll see there's just a little count up of a little note of the notations. So just what designates a superset, what designates the amount of sets, and the rep range. And then just a little note here that I put it basically on all my programs, which is select weights that put you close to failing the desired rep range. I think most people know that, even beginners. And then just use straps. Even if you're like not sure if your arms are limiting you, if it's even a question, use straps for bodybuilding purposes at least. So yeah, we just have a quick count up of the amount of sets in terms of compound isolation and then just the total per muscle group. So that can be interesting. And then yeah, that's the program. So hopefully you enjoyed the little dive through if you're still here. But if you're not still here, then I hope that you had a quick look at the program. And yeah, once again, like I said with all my programs, it's a little bit like a recipe. So you can you should be able to save this like your version for yourself. And if you want to change it up, maybe add some more supersets or maybe take some stuff out if you're like in a rush or whatever you want to do. It's a skeleton, and I think this is a good skeleton for a program. I think this is a good archetype. Push pull legs, not in that order, with like an arm day or something if you want to turn it to 4 days. I think if you want to do 5 days, and I'll definitely make one of those programs, it probably would be push pull legs upper lower. But I think for 4, push pull legs and then like a chill arm day is a really good way of doing it, especially if you're a beginner. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed that and got something out of it. And yeah, hopefully you decide to run the program. Cheers.